Okay, there you go.
Again, along the bottom.
Okay, I got it. Okay. So yeah. So anyway, so the sales pipeline, you got basically, you got filters on top. You got sales pipeline, which is, how many generated, how many attempts, which is outgoing communication. Engage means how many have replied back to you or called in, or, if there's any, these two boxes are primarily based around the communication activity, attempt and engaged. Okay. Attempt meaning outgoing communication, engage meaning incoming communication. I can change the language if there's a better suggestion, but that's what I thought it would be good, a way to describe it: attempt or engage. So and proposal is someone who filled out a credit application, or someone who showed up for their appointment. And there's a third one called price offer, where you can send an offer to a customer in a text message format, and then kind of like eBay bidding. I don't know if you've seen eBay bidding, where you can on eBay, if you there's a make an offer button, right? So if you click on it, you make an offer. So we have the same make an offer button available within our CRM. I'll demo it later, but the concept is you can send a text message to a customer, and then they'll get a little mobile form on their screen, and they'll have to log in by they'll have to verify themselves first. They'll have to in the form they'll have to enter their phone number or email, and then after that they can start actually making offers. And as soon as they make an offer, let's say the car is 10,000, they make an $8,000 offer. That offer it bypasses the salesperson, and it goes directly to the manager. The logic behind that is that there's I heard years ago that only 1/3 of the leads or the customers ever make it to the decision maker in a dealership. 2/3 of the leads never make it. So that means if somebody was serious about buying a car, and salesmen will never escalate their offer, or so there's a lot of wastage over there. So the process was to connect customer. If he wants to start making offers at that stage, start connecting him directly to the manager, and the manager can, with just one reply from his text message, can counter or accept or reject. And when the manager gets the offer, he gets not only the customer name, he gets the vehicle information, how old it is, what's our true cost on it. So it helps him make a quick decision right away, if he wants to part with a vehicle. So anyway, all that activity is logged under proposals. Okay. So once again, attempt is outgoing communication, engaged is incoming, proposal is any high level activity, like your credit applications, appointments showing up in store, and then also price offer activity, make an offer activities. Again, sold and lost buckets and neglected bucket. Sold, lost, all that stuff you already know, but neglected is something we can set up business rules around the store's attempt and engaged. So you can say, for example, if any lead has less than 3 attempts and 0 engagement, then that means it's been neglected. That means there hasn't been enough attempts within 48 hours. If you didn't make enough, like 3 attempts on it, that means you're neglecting this lead. And that can open it up to everyone. So it won't stay married to one customer. It won't stay locked in one customer, not customers, but one salesperson's profile. Okay. So if the lead goes into neglected bucket based on our store settings, then it'll basically open up to the entire sales floor. Okay. The neglected pool is something that you just open up so anyone can go and start and grab it from there and start working those leads. Okay. So that's our sales pipeline.
Okay. So just a quick question for you: as leads are coming in, is it similar to other CRMs? You can set like a round robin rule, or does it go into a shared lead bucket initially?
Yeah, so lead distribution, we'll get into that, but lead distribution I do have, of course, round robin with schedule. I also built, which I'm going to file a patent for it. There's a performance based lead system. So what I do is you can set up a performance criteria, where if you have, it's called smart lead reassignment. What it does is it takes your best salesperson. There's a mathematical formula that I built in there. So what it does is it calculates your best ranking salespeople, and then it increases the percentage of distribution to those salespeople, which is something I guarantee you probably will not find in any other CRMs. So so that's kind of like a secret sauce in there. It's a smart reassignment, and then there's also, you can assign leads based on other business rules, like like let's say you want cars over $50,000 to go to a certain salesperson. I mean, you can set up rules like that based on price buckets, based on body types, based on makes and models. So you can do all those things. You can actually, I wasn't gonna go into CRM defined rules, but here in the admin side, we can control all that stuff. So in the lead assignment, this is a if you select a store, you see right now it's set up as round robin with schedule. Okay. But if you want to apply a custom rule by make or by price or by conversion or by role or by pass, then you can do that. So let's say I want to say by make, and for this employee, John Malik gets all the Ferrari leads. Okay. So I can add the Ferrari in there. So now John Malik, I've got Ferrari, Porsche, and because I already added some of these, brands earlier, Ferrari, Porsche, and Ferrari. So I can actually, I can add other rules in there where I get all the so basically these custom rules are gonna bypass, or they supersede the assignment method. So if you got, let's say 20 leads came in for a day, then there's only one lead for Ferrari and a Porsche. Those for sure will get assigned to John Malik, because there's the custom rule always takes higher precedence, than over the rest of the assignment method. So the rest of the 18 leads will basically be distributed using the assignment method. Okay. And then if I click on this smart assignment form, what it's going to do is it'll start calculating the salespeople's in a performance based on the criteria that we set up, and then it'll rank them. It'll start increasing the percentages of the lead distribution of them. So one salesperson could get so if you had let's say 5 salespeople, and each of them was supposed to get 20% of the leads. Now one of them, the best one, can start, I think, start getting maybe 40 something percent leads, and the rest, 60% out of that one, 30 something might go to the next best one, and so on and so forth. Okay. So that's your lead reassignment. But let me go back to the dashboard. All right. So sometimes it takes a little, because there's takes a little, I mean, it's not bad. It takes about 6-7 seconds to load the dashboard, but there's a lot of information, and then all these numbers are clickable. So if I want to see these 8 leads today, I can click on it and it'll show me all these 8 leads. And if I click on any of this information, it'll basically load up the lead, the full details of that lead. Okay. Once again, it's so this is what the lead structure looks like. You got contact information, you got opportunity, and all these are collapsible panels. And the contact information, you have buyer, co-buyer. You can have multiple names. You can also have a legal name, because so if you convert the sale if you convert lead into a sale, all you do is click over here. It'll open up the sales module, and and then you can also call from here. You click over here and you can actually make a call, and this call will get recorded in the system. I mean, I'll go ahead and place that call too right now. Let's see. While I'm talking to her on the call, this person, Shelly.
Hello.
Hey, Miss Shelly, this is John. I'm calling from UI Autos. You just called in about the
number.
Nissan Maxima.
Yeah, you have the wrong number.
Okay. Never mind then. Sorry about that.
All right.
Okay. All right. So see, I spoke to him. As soon as I hang up, and now it's asking me a little call survey. Okay, feedback.
Right.
I'm going to say they answered. Now it's asking me what's the next task, I'm going to say no action, or I'll just say this was a bad lead. Okay. So I'll go ahead and save the note, and then at the same time, no action. I'll close it and I'll mark it lost. Okay. While marking it lost, it's asking me these 5 main reason category: credit, price, product, presentation, or no contact. I'm going to hit no contact. It's saying bad lead, and I'll give it a sub reason, wrong information. Okay. So now this is basically lost. Okay. And that's the end of that one. But in the lead itself, you got contact section, you got opportunity section, which basically what it does is, just like any other opportunity, you got, who's assigned to it, and what's the source, and, and the little sales pipeline information on top. That's your opportunity section. Then you have tasks. In the tasks, you can have appointment tasks. In the appointments, you can set up reminders, and it basically what it does is it sends the reminders like email or text message or even a phone call. You can even send like a scripted, like a robocall, so you can do that too. And then you can check in a lead. If you check in a lead, what it does, it changes the status of the lead, or the interaction, the opportunity. It changes the status of the opportunity to in store automatically. Okay, if we check them in. The tasks are obviously same thing. It automatically keeps on creating reminder tasks. Then we have a lot of different business rules. If the lead is over 90 days old, and there's there hasn't been any activity for past 7 days or whatever, and there are no open appointments, then mark it lost automatically, and kill all the tasks that are associated with it. So you got the task section is basically, you got a lot of different types of tasks. You can also set up reminders for, like, how these days a lot of people are doing virtual demos. So you can set up a phone call with a reminder. So at the time of a phone call too, you can send a reminder to a customer and your employee that, hey, you got a phone call scheduled. So then they can do a little demo. When you make a phone call, by the way, like I just did right now, it's already added in the notes. Okay, so I can listen to it. I can go back in there and I can listen to it. You see this?
Hello.
All right.
Hey,
Okay. And not only that, there's a separate section where I can go. It's called call analytics. I can go and score these phone calls. I can build surveys, and those surveys are, each store can do their own surveys. Basically, let's say you have certain way of doing business where there are certain scripts you want your salespeople to execute, right? You want them to ask full name, email. Do you want to ask them, you want to make sure all of your salespeople are trying to ask certain types of questions. Then, and you're listening to these phone calls, you can actually go build that survey. And then while you're listening to that call, you can answer questions in that survey that you built yourself. Okay. So that's that. You have inventory. You can attach multiple inventories or wish lists with a lead. So this is our inventory search. While searching, you can search through any of your stores, or by default all stores, and you can also search based on price ranges, and this is right within the lead itself. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also while searching, if there's any pictures that are any website pictures, anything like that, it'll come up on this. It'll show. Not only that, it also has links to your website, to your actual website. What we do is every night, we run a script and we pick up your actual website links for all the cars, and we bring them into our database. So so your salesperson actually can link over to, doesn't matter which company. You could be using Dealer Car Search or dealer.com or whatever. It'll automatically store the vehicle page from that website. Okay. So that you can also, like I said, you can add wish lists. Wish lists are like basically if you wanted to add a car which you don't have in the inventory. But what wish list does is when that matching criteria car comes in, it automatically sends an email and a text message to the customer, hey, we found the car that you're looking for. Okay, so every time a new car gets added, every night it goes and finds leads that are matching those new inventory, basically. um, Financial information, while you're talking to the customer, you can build that, the survey, like, how do you want to pay, are you pre-approved, what's the APR, this is like a questionnaire every store can control. Trade-in information, just like, just like that, you add trade-ins. um, this is a new feature called quote means you can actually build a kind of like a mini quote, selling price of the car, tax, tag, title, warranty, gap, title fee, down payment, APR 9.9, number of payments 60. So it's giving them a monthly payment. You can actually add these payments, and then you can actually email them to the customer. Once you add them, you can actually go ahead and click over here and you can email these quotes, but there's no email for this customer, otherwise that's why the email button is disabled. But you can actually build several quotes. Hey, at 16 months, this much down, you're looking at this payment, just like a F&I manager, but you can actually do that even at CRM level. Okay, you can do that in the desking system too, and right here, but you can do it at CRM level as well. So that's your CRM. Again, these are counters for this lead: the attempt, engage, and proposal. I can push the lead higher into proposal by clicking over here. As soon as I click on proposal, bad lead, it's asking me a note, Um, so I'm just gonna add a note over there. But the operator, the user, the salesperson, if he feels like he needs to push a lead into a proposal, he can just click on this and give it a reason why he thinks that this is a proposal, right? Based on his conversations with a customer, with a shopper, he knows that this is a serious lead. So anytime, we have to coach our salespeople. Anytime they feel like something is a high level lead or something is a very serious opportunity, then they can push it themselves into proposal. And that way your manager who's looking at this dashboard, now he doesn't have to look at every single generated lead. He can just focus on the proposal bucket or engaged buckets. He's coming down and he's getting to the bottom part of the sales funnel instead of the staying on top part. So
Yeah.
so salespeople should work more of the top. Their conversion should be from generated to attempts and engaged. That's what salespeople or BDC should be doing. And then the manager, GSM, should be working proposal and engaged buckets. The bottom ones. Um, and then you have this is your sales. Sorry, this is your appointment board right here. Appointment board shows upcoming appointments, today's appointments, and past due appointment. Any past due appointment which was not marked completed is going to still stay in there for past, like 7 days or whatever the date range is. And the checked in appointments, whoever checked in is going to show up over here. And against each appointment, the lead is showing the what status they're sitting in, contacted, sold, whatever the state of their lead is. All right, so you can also track how many leads were created today and how many how many appointments were created today, how many appointments were created for the week, how many were confirmed, how many were show, how many were no show, and future ones. This little communication widget is showing you how many emails came in today and how many came in for the week and how many outbound emails went out, how many phone calls were made, came in today, how many were outbound were done. Like we just called this guy, so the number is one. See that guy Shelly? I just clicked on it. So if I wanted to see if this system was fully implemented, I can tell exactly then who called who. As a manager sitting here, I can tell what kind of communication is going on. Okay. So this is your dashboard right here. Again, last 20 leads, you can see them over here. So we were looking at this guy. These are recent leads. One thing I was going to show you was make an offer. So this right here is make an offer, like a price offer I was telling you about. First thing you do is you set up an initial price. So the list price is 48, 47. Let's say total price with tax tag and title is 5,800, right? So I can save it, and then I can send that text message to a customer. I'm not going to send it right now, otherwise he'll get a text message.
Right.
Once he gets a text message, he will have a link, and he can start countering. And on these tables are right here, customer and store will have data, which IP address to use, what is the customer offer, what is the status of the offer right now, entry date, IP address, and then what's the store's response. So all the history will start building up over here. At some point, customer can accept it, or employee can accept it, from their cell phone, or just by saying, hey, reply, whatever, 1 2 3 4 to accept this offer. So they'll get it. So that all that workflow is built up. That's basically your negotiation, like a formal negotiation called make an offer or price offer. Okay. All right, so that's that. Now let's move on to the this is your store's entire text message, your SMS log. This is for the entire store. Notice each and every one of them have a lot of filters on top, and we're also picking up leads from Messenger, which is Facebook Messenger. You see that? That means the leads. If I wanted to see only Facebook leads, I click over here, and it's going to filter and bring up. So if I type any message over here, it's going to go to that person's Facebook, Messenger, or their Facebook page, basically. So it's already connected to Facebook as well. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I did that like almost a year and a half ago when nobody was doing that, but but now I think it's pretty common. A lot of people are doing that. But so these are Facebook leads. I'm gonna go back to all of them. You can also click on unread. That means anything that's not been read will get filtered over here. Date filter. You can search through the leads. Again, you can filter these messages based on attempts and engage and proposal. So if I want to talk to anyone who's already engaged, let's say I want to talk to people that are that have already replied to me. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put that filter in there, and that way I'll get more serious leads loaded in here. Okay. I mean, I keep on emphasizing the engaged and attempt filters because for years I used to work really hard to figure out which leads were really serious, which ones are really replying back to messages, and which ones are not. So all that stuff is now handled by engaged and attempt filters. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll any questions about the SMS or the messenger part?
No, I really like that. Okay. From a go forward standpoint, it seems like the only other part that could be added there to just take it to another level is if a dealership is heavily using Instagram, being able to have people message via Instagram as well. But having Facebook is still, like you said, pretty far ahead of most others.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, we can also post reviews to Facebook as well. Like when somebody buys a car or doesn't buy a car, you make a little video on your cell phone and upload it on your computer, and you can actually send it to companies or stores' Facebook page right away along with the notes. So this, if you click on it, I can write, another, happy customer at, UI Autos, whatever, and then attach an image or whatever, and I can post it right to the, to the store's page. Okay.
Awesome.
And also, I'm actually working on a new feature right now. I'm trying to convert a non-Facebook lead like this one. This one came from either Car Gurus or something, so there's only phone number in it. But I'm trying to set it up where I can send them a Facebook link, if they like me, then their Facebook ID gets attached over here. And then at that point, we can also communicate with them, not only phone messages, we can also, get them to like our page, basically. Like, how you get customers to like your Facebook page. So I'm trying to automate that process, basically.
Yeah.
Facebook is being very restrictive right now. I think they're after their whole fallout with the Congress and everything, they're big on privacy and all the other stuff. So they're being very restrictive on all that stuff, on as far as the allowing people to connect to their application, with the API. But we're already doing some of these things, like we're communicating with them through API and all other stuff, so.
Great.
So that's your so you got notes in there. You can create attachments in the lead, like let's say a driver license, all that stuff. By the way, there's an app as well. I'll show you the app. App is doing all that stuff too, where somebody comes in for a test drive, you can grab their driver license and everything else. Proof of income, all those things. So you can attach documents. You can also do the same thing, like do a write up, like basically a sales worksheet. So the 4 squares or whatever. So I haven't used that in a long time, but you can do that over here. So you can type, you
That
can,
looks familiar.
yeah. Right. So and so all this stuff is there, and you can save it, and it stays in the deal jacket, or within the lead. And once the lead converts over to the sale, like let's say if I click on it right now, it's going to create a new sale, basically, and all these notes and everything will carry over to your desking system. So your GSM or sales manager or F&I will be able to see everything, what has transpired so far from their desking system, which is basically, it's the same system. It's not like it's a different system. So now you see this, it loaded the customer, the vehicle, even the financing part that I built over there. It loaded all that stuff over here. Temp tag, mileage, who's a salesperson. I mean, you can add multiple salespeople. Who's the sales manager? Who's the F&I manager? Sale price, discounts, taxes. If you click on taxes, by the way, you can create taxes for all the states separately, and you can also add several line items in the taxes. Like you can, let's say I want to put a new line item, so that the tax is only on the dock fee. Let's say some states have a separate tax amount on dock fee, right? Like in Georgia has 7% all across the board, but Virginia has, I think, 4 point something percent on sale price, then 2% on dock fee. Like they have separate line items. So we can select which line item is taxable, okay, and then we can give it a name, and you can save it so that stays with the state. Next time you load that state, it's going to automatically load it. So let's say I'm going to add this line. So the tax is $339. Fees, you can add trade-ins and add-ons. Add-ons, I'm actually trying to integrate with the third-party companies. Let's say it's a warranty, and if I select a warranty provider, I'm trying to get them to, there's a lot of them available where we can load the menu. Once you select the warranty provider, it should automatically load their menu on the screen. Like, for this VIN number, how many products they have available, it should show up. And then if you select something, then it should automatically load over here with costs and everything else. So
Yeah.
so that's that. This is your desking system that that's and it's doing all the debits and credits and everything else in the background too. Let me select
Right.
let me select
a big thought there, just because I know each state, like you said, does taxes different, and even within fees or whatnot, some are taxable, some aren't. Or for accessories, if it is just something that they purchase, it has sales tax applied, but if the dealership is going to install it, it's taxed differently. So I wonder if it almost makes sense, where you've got check boxes there to say apply fee, to almost, have another one, have another checkbox that, is taxable or something like that.
Oh, the fees are taxable?
Yeah, I'm just saying, so that someone can select, specifically line item by line item, whether or not something is taxable.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be very simple. In fact, I've already when you're setting up the fee, you can make the fee taxable. There's in the fee setup screen, which we haven't visited, you can actually when you're creating a fee, you can make it taxable or non-taxable.
Perfect. Okay.
And so these fees, they work like this. You can give them a name, like it's a Georgia fee, or no, so Georgia fees will be like 3, 4, 5 fees, and each and every one will have a separate way of how they drop into the sale. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so I didn't want to get into sales, but we still were on CRM. But anyway, so we looked at the SMS. Now I'm gonna show you the store inbox. Again, remember with Dealer Socket, I always used to have this issue that they said they have a store inbox, but it wasn't really a store inbox because I couldn't see all the leads in all the emails in one place properly.
Right.
But now look at this. This is a store inbox, and this is also, by the way, all these things are very modular, and they're also all of them will need a separate access level. So store inbox is not accessible to a salesperson level guy. So this will be accessible to BDC or GSM. So now if I go in there, same thing, I can search, based on engaged and, attempt criteria or names. I can also click on, whatever is not read. And the leads are actually clubbed together. They're like, how you can expand and you can see what kind of, if there's several leads under one, if there's several emails under one lead, you can see them over here.
I like that.
Yeah, instead of just laying out and all the leads on top of each. So now they're grouped together by the latest lead. The latest lead with the communication, or communication with the latest lead, comes on top automatically. Okay. So at any rate, this is what your email looks like, and if you reply or forward, then not only you can do the templates. I'm sure you're familiar with the template stuff. That you can load templates in there. You can create templates in the CRM admin. You can load them over here. But not only that, you can also send them credit application links. Like if I click on it, and this application has its own credit application, it looks pretty good on that, and it even gets a signature, like one of those digital signatures from them.
Right.
You can also have internal attachments. Internal attachments means, like, let's say you want to send somebody a condition report of the car, which is that's walking on thin ice. So let's say your service writer wrote a condition report and you want to be very transparent on the condition of the car. You can click on it and it'll pick up the condition report from your service department and it'll send it to the customer. Or if you want to send them some internal photos, like internal photos could be like your repair photos and things like that, you can send them those internal attachments as well. You can also send them let's say if you
say hi to John. Poke your head in the way.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Heading out to run some errands.
Okay.
Safe.
Sorry if are we out of time, or we can continue?
No.
Okay.
Let's see. I have about half an hour.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to speed through this thing. Yeah.
You're good. We can dive through. What I'd love to do at the end of this is have you create a username, password that I can get in and like click through things.
Yeah.
And kind of look at poking holes in workflows and making sure that from the perspective of somebody who's a new user, how intuitive is it? Because that is always such a big thing that we would run into, whether it be in Socket or really any software system, is for the new guy coming in who hasn't had a ton of training, how easy is it for me to pick up and do my job?
Right. Well, I mean, let's talk about all that stuff. I'll tell you, don't poke too many holes right now because I'm already overworked. um, but no, well, definitely give me all your honest feedback on everything. I just want to show you quickly. We've got the system to a point where there's a lot of MVPs. There's a lot of upselling features. There's a lot of things that are. I mean, honestly, I still was even last NADA I saw. I haven't showed you service and parts and inventory and audits and all that stuff, but I'll create a login for you. You can go ahead and play with it, and I'll give you some basic documents that I've written on this thing too, so you can read them and understand what's going on. So anyway, in the email system, you can also attach, let's say if we had a buyer's order or something that the desking system created for this guy, you can also access them over here, those documents, So there's internal attachments doc, it's kind of like a feature that, it's an upselling feature. Okay. How many times you need to people ask for sales documents. Hey, I need a buyer's order, I need this or that, I need a Carfax report. So if you had all that stuff sitting in the inventory deal jacket or in the CRM at the time of at the time of communicating, all those documents are available right here. You don't have to do a separate attachments or create this or all that stuff. So and then also there's something else called quick text. If I click over here and if I click on this address and hours, but so it loads, you can create these buttons yourself. Each and every store can create their own buttons and what kind of content goes behind those buttons, name, so I've created this trade info. So if you click on this button, it automatically loads. Can you send me VIN number, miles, option, and condition notes on your trade? Okay. That's something that most people ask for, hey, what's my trade's worth? So instead of me, keep on typing, I can keep on creating these buttons and you can create them easily from here, and when you create these buttons, you can drop them in 4 different categories: store or customer or vehicle or employee. If is it pertaining to employee or vehicle or customer or store. Okay.
Right.
You can also, there's another thing in the emails, which is, which was a big headache for me with the other systems, that just you use Outlook, right? So with Outlook, you have all these signatures and stuff, right? So I have Outlook signature over here. Right now, I can click on it. Yes. Hold on 1 second. I don't know. Yes, come in. Hey, Dean, what's going on? Give me a few minutes, please. Okay. All right. All right. So you can create signatures, multiple signatures. So like someone like me, I'm working with 6-7 stores, right? I've created all these signatures. So and it automatically detects which store I'm communicating for, and it picks up that signature for that store.
Okay.
Yeah. So if the lead belonged to Stone Mountain store, it'll pick up my Stone Mountain signature, given that I had created a Stone Mountain signature. Okay. Or I can manually change it myself. So the signatures are kind of like an advanced feature. I used to hate it when with the dealer socket. Sometimes I would send an email for another store like Virginia, and it'll automatically append my Georgia signature, and people will be clicking on the wrong websites and calling, and they'll be getting confused. Like, hey, I'm in Virginia. Who's this guy, from Georgia sending me messages? So,
right.
The same principle applies in the. So this is basically your entire email store inbox. You can also, it shows a lot of information, not only showing the customer information. It shows what vehicle they're on, so your salesperson doesn't have to keep on doing that the dance where they have to go and see what car are they on or what are they. So right there in the one view, you can see your vehicle. You can link over to the lead right away. You can actually jump to the car's web page as well. All that stuff is right there. I'm just trying to like I said, make the customer, the salesperson's lives really easy. And this is something that we see every day. That's why they hate these systems, because they can't find anything. Also, right from without opening the lead, they can update the like let's say they wanted to update the name or phone number and all that stuff. Without opening the lead, they can update the lead's information. They can update inventory. They can add inventory and all that stuff. They can add notes, without getting into the lead. Okay. Remember, I'm in store inbox right now. I'm looking at all the leads. They can send a message. They can set up an appointment. They can set up a task. They can mark them lost. And they can also push them into a proposal bucket right here. They can also launch a phone call right here, so what do you think?
I really like that. I mean, I love how convenient that is.
Yep. So that's that. Now, okay. So we looked at dashboard. We look at the individual lead. We looked at the ways of communicating with the lead. We looked at converting a lead into a sale, the notes and everything else. And I showed you some Facebook features. You can post videos and everything from the lead. You can get a Facebook like, or you can communicate with them on their Facebook. Then the next thing is, let's go into, it's the same stuff, but if you look at opportunity list screen, it's the same. Like you'll be looking at all the leads in a kind of like a table format. So the point is, without opening the lead, you can do a lot of that work, from the same aggregate screen, where you're not jumping into each and every lead, but you can just do it from that, from that table view. Okay.
Right.
So, and then you have the task list screen. So this is your opportunity list screen. By the way, anytime a lead comes in with a bad, with a bad name, like let's say name unknown and all that stuff, I have a big database of names, like, not provided, unknown, whatever. What it does is it replaces it with dear customer. Okay. And if later on this dear customer sends, if there's a match found on it with a real name, then it'll automatically know that, okay, dear customer was just a generic name. So let's say next time somebody calls and, says, hey, or emails, and the phone number matches or the email matches, it'll automatically update the name. You get that?
Yep.
Okay. Speaking of lead duplication, there's zero duplication of the leads. Okay, it doesn't matter if the lead started from Auto Trader or Car Gurus, or first they came from Auto Trader, then now they're from Car Gurus. There's zero chance of duplication. I've made it really strong point that the leads do not get duplicated as long as phone numbers or email or any one of them matches. It'll make sure that it does not go into a duplicate bucket, for within the same group, basically.
Does it auto merge the records?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay.
And also what it does is, in the leads that are generated every day, if there's a lead that's already, let's say somebody communicated with me 3 months ago, right? And I already had their information in the system, right? Now, 3 months later, they're back again. You remember in Dealer Socket, they used to put it in a bucket. What was it? Something untouched or something like that. They had some other, so it won't show up as a fresh lead, basically, in other words, right? In this one,
Right.
it'll, as long as a lead comes from ADF, it'll make it a fresh lead again. It'll merge it, but then it'll still show as a fresh lead. Okay.
Gotcha.
And all the reasons behind it, why it needs to be done that way.
Sure.
Absolutely. So that's that. And by the way, so there's, as soon as a lead comes in, I mean, all the auto responses are sent right away. And then you have scheduled day 1, day 3, day 5 scripts that are running. It's sending them text messages, emails, all that stuff. We can also start sending them robocalls. I haven't started that feature yet, but it's already programmed to do, but I know that might be annoying for a lot of people. So you might want to, if your store requires something like that, we can do that too,
Yeah.
But at any point, you can, right from your opportunity list, you can call people, you can text them, you can email them, all that stuff from there. You can update their notes without opening the lead. So the whole point is less clicks, don't open the lead. And so if I wanted to update the notes on it, I click on this little counters. So again, these counters on the right at the start are showing attempts, engagements, proposals, and notes, and neglected. Okay, all these things are right there. So dashboard, opportunity list, task list. You get into the task list, and it's gonna show you There's, by the way, I've created some new types of tasks like manager reviews, data requests. We get so many tasks that are, your data request tasks, like, Carfax, photos, things like that. People are asking for more data. You can do a lead check-in. These are appointments that you go ahead and check them in. And I'm not gonna get into too much, but let's look at the reports real quick. Reports are pretty good. I can see, which one of my salespeople are performing the best. I can see which one of my advertising sources are performing the best. I can see which one of my leads are performing the best. I can click on it. I see it's telling me I've got 68 cars that are on the hot list. 40 cars have issues. Out of stock cars, I got 11 cars that are out of stock in last week that I got leads on. So if I click on it, it tells me these are the cars that I'm getting leads on, but they're out of, and I can also see how many leads are sitting under each and every car. Okay, so if I expand that, this view, I can basically, in other words, I can group the leads by vehicle. Let me show you something cool that I forgot to tell you. In the opportunity list, we can also view leads by inventory. Normally, how opportunities load by name, but we can also group them together by vehicle and then view them that way. Let's see if I click on inventory. So see, this is opportunity list. All I did was I clicked on inventory. By default, it loads by names, lead names. But by inventory, now what it's doing is it's showing me all the cars, and it's showing me how many ups or leads are against it. 8 leads are against it. There's 8 active, and 8 are hot. So it's telling me all that. So if I expand it, I can see, okay, how many leads are there, and I can call them from here as well. I can open the lead, I can call them. This really helps in the pricing. Every time we have every time we sit down to do pricing, we always reference this screen right now to see if there's any. It's telling me even last activity date. Any proposal means if there's any a serious level activity that happened on it, the numbers are there. So it's telling me all that data right there.
Yep.
Okay, so that, yeah.
This was a huge complaint that we would get regarding dealer socket.
I was one of them, yeah.
Inventory.
Yeah.
You couldn't, without clicking a few steps deep, you couldn't see how many open opportunities there were tied to that vehicle. And each time you clicked into an opportunity, then you had to go all the way back to a new inventory search to get that vehicle back up. So it's got to feel pretty good that you've got areas of this system that are actually ahead of a company that's spending tens of millions of dollars a year in development. Yeah,
the one thing I learned, and I'm gonna, God willing, once this is done, which I think I'm at 90% mark, I want to do another complete ERP again. I love this side of work, and you know what? One thing I learned is that if your data set is wrong right from the start, it's very hard to change it later on down the lane. Then if you start off with the wrong type of data sets, then it's so much patchwork that it gets overly complicated. Something that could have been done with, a straight line. Now you got to freaking draw, a whole octagon around it to just reach, that point. But anyway, so this is so you can view leads not by names, by inventory as well. And trust me, I've got, all my stores. I ask all the managers, I'm like, look, you guys are free to choose another system if you want to. And none of them have chosen, and they keep on telling me like, hey, let's go start selling this thing. Cause they're really, you're talking about self-intuitiveness. Trust me, this dashboard view and all that stuff. I haven't even trained people formally, but they just figure out automatic. I don't have any trainer, that, right? I don't have any, and I have hardly any time to sit down and talk to them. But I just tell them like, hey, you know what, just do this or that. And then I think it is intuitive. They are figuring out, some of the very basic sales level people, they see this sales pipeline screen, and they can tell, hey, okay, this many leads came in today, this many engaged, this many. So they can tell looking at it. There's not too much information thrown at them right at the start. Okay. So that's your sales. Let's get out of here. This one. But by the way, there's a call analytics piece. I was telling you, all the calls that are made. You can go in there and you can actually view. You can listen to them, and you can also give them a score. If you click on it, it opens up. You can create these surveys yourself. You meaning a store's power user, admin level person, store admin level person can create these. So this is a call survey that I just created the other day. Was the caller greeted properly? Yes, no. Did the sales rep put the caller on hold before answering about the vehicle? I have this big thing every time somebody say, hey, do you have this vehicle available? Instead of saying yes or no, put them on hold for 10, 20 seconds and come back. Like, hey, I got good news for you. It's available. So was the caller's name and phone number collected properly? Was the caller directed towards financing? So all these questions, you build them and then you score them. And then, that way, not only you track your best salespeople, you can also, at a group level, you can also track the entire store and see which store is doing better on calling and all that stuff. Okay. So that's your call analytics. Okay. That's part of your CRM package. And that's, there's companies that are just doing that only. And we can, and we're just making that part of the whole package, So, Facebook, call analytics, the store inboxes, everything, just, so now let's jump over to desking system. Desking system is kind of like spread out, like you got customer box, employee box, and then you got financing on top. In the financing, you can there's all these advanced finance calculators, and you can also create all sorts of things like, let's say 60-month loan. You can create buy rate, sell rate, reserves. There's all sorts of things you can you can calculate. So let's say I bought the loan at 5%. I'm selling it at 7%. 30% is my holdback from the bank. Total net is coming out 245. So I save that, and now it's going to go towards commissions. Once I go into commission screen, it's going to automatically tell me how much commission was made. You can add payments over here. Unlike Dealer Socket or some of these guys, where there's an actual general ledger in the back that's actually running, and and it's collecting everything. By the way, if you sell a car from one store and the car belongs to, let's say, you and I were a group, and you sell one of my cars, it'll automatically create an intra-company transaction as well. It'll create the debits and credits and all that stuff. Okay. Yep. It's a big piece. I'll dive into it later, but let me show you the stuff that you may want to look at besides this too. Inventory, you know what inventory is. We got inventory dashboard, and then this is the list of cars that we have. Let's go to Roswell store. So this is a list right here. You've got the basic information of the car. You can also check vehicles in and out. So let's say that you're checking this car out to a customer or employee or a vendor. As soon as you click on any of these lists, so if you click on customer, it's going to search your CRM database. You'll have to type the name. Whatever you type, it'll start pulling up the matching name. So you can check them out to an employee. Let's say employee is John Malik, and how many miles they're allowed. Checkout miles. Checkout miles are, let's say 69,000. Gas level, insurance company, policy number. Then you can send them a text message. If you click on it, they'll get a text message. They have to actually sign it before the car gets checked out. Actually, I got a text message right now. Let's see. I wish I could show you my phone screen. I'll show you. Well, there you go. I don't know if you can see it. I got a text message from the system. Can you see it, or is it too?
It's a little small, but
Okay, so this is a text message that I got. I'm trying to do is I'm trying to check out a vehicle. Okay, so I
Yep.
clicked on it, and now I have to. It's telling me what car I'm trying to check out. I sign it. I'm gonna have to read the disclaimer, that loaner policy, all that stuff, and submit it.
Yeah.
And now I did this, and you see that on the screen. It checked out now. Okay.
Yep.
And I can check it back in, from if I scan it with my inventory app, which I have an inventory app, we already created that too, is gonna basically, if the car is found back on the lot and you scan it, and if the status was checked out, it'll automatically check it in. Okay, it knows that the car is back on the lot because it's tracking your location, your phone's location. So inventory check-in, check-out, you click on the inventory itself and you can get into condition report and repair order and all those other things, So I'm gonna jump into that real quick. So this is your inventory detail page. You got basic information, all that miles and everything else. You got cost module, and the cost you can, again, all this is actual data that you can actually go ahead and write checks from here, and it's affecting your general ledger. Okay, so let's say original cost I can say is, I don't know, 19,000 on this vehicle, and I bought it from an auction. So my invoice number is this, save and close, and I can actually go in there and pay it. See, I clicked on it. I picked up. This is a payment screen. This is the pay ADESA. This is the bill. There were other bills for that auction too. I owe them for other. I can pay them for 2 or 3 different cars, and go to payments, and I can write them a check. Wells Fargo account. It knows my check numbers. And then let's say I'm paying them for 24,100. Go ahead and it's asking me to authorize the check. So it's gonna send a signature to the check writer. So just like I got the text message, it's gonna send a signature request. So you can actually sign checks, believe it or not, from your phone. So if you were not in store and they have to write a check, your bookkeeper, she'll actually get your actual signature. Okay. One second. All right, so that's that. Get into condition report. That's a main feature of of your inventory. You can actually create a condition report, which this is done from a cell phone app mostly. You can do it from a desktop. This is a desktop version right here. You got a test drive section, keys section, then you got tires section, tires and wheels. Then you got exterior, interior. So when you go through these, if anything that's good, if there's something is wrong, or you can hit yellow or red, okay? And then you can give it a, basically an advisory, like, okay, you can give a recommendation, okay? The recommendation list is pretty extensive. You can say align, adjust, balance, detail. This is all NAAA language. This is not my language. This is something that I've gotten from the auction folks. Okay, and this is what they use for creating condition reports and things like that. Okay. Anyway, so this is your every single time you click on red or yellow, it creates a repair order, and the repair orders are then you go into repair orders menu. You can see all these repair orders over there, and then the repair orders are actually handled by service department, which this is our service department. I mean, I was in inventory. And this car, see, I got this repair order 7722, 7721, and 20. These are 3 that I just created right now. They need to be assigned. They say not assigned right now. There's no employee, there's no vendor assigned to them. some of them will require funding approval. If you can set up in your business rules for the store, if the store requires all the repair orders to go through financial approval process, then you can, you can set that up in your business rules. I mean, this is all customizable. Again, due to shortage of time, I'm not going to show you that customization level, but you can customize your store where you can actually get in and set up a rule that, hey, if there's something is over $500 worth of repair, if the estimate is over 500, then you have to have an approval for it. Okay. You can create an estimate. You can create an estimate over here. This is what a repair order looks like. I clicked on repair order, employee section, vendor section, and a timer. Okay, so let's say I'm going to go ahead and assign it an employee. These are the employees that with the tech level access. Okay, so let's say once the employee gets, since I'm the same employee, I see accept or reject. And when you assign it to an employee will get notification that, hey, there's a repair order waiting for you to accept. Employee can accept or reject it based on, let's say if it's beyond his skill set, then he might reject it. So right now, when you create a repair, first thing what you do is when you create a repair order, it goes into unassigned status. Okay. From unassigned, the repair order has to be assigned to someone. They have to accept it. After they accept it, they have to start working on it. So let's say I click on it. Now the employee has accepted. So it says employee in progress. You can also assign it to a vendor, if you want to. So see the timer automatically, I've built like 30 minutes. It gives the minimum I'm going to give somebody a repair order time is 30 minutes. Okay. Now they start working on it. We click on it and the timer starts. Okay. So this, let's say I'm the tech, I'm working on this thing. I can request a part, let's say I need 2 tires for it, So this request will go into basically parts department. And I'm going to say my estimate time, I need 1 hour, and my parts cost estimated is $100, and I need labor $40. Okay. And I can save and close. And now this is a 7722. I'm going to go into my service department. At this point, it's going to get taken over by a service department. Okay. The service department, this is what their screen looks like. Let's see. Which store was it? LAW, I think so. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there it is, 77. You see all the texts that are there? They have their tickets. So these are your filters. Then these are your unassigned ROs. You can drag and drop, I can let's say drag and drop it to this person right here, So I can see all my texts and their work. Okay. You see the screen? All the tickets are, I can drag and drop them over here.
Yep.
And they'll basically, once they get, so that means this person gets assigned a ticket if I drag and drop it into their queue. Okay. These are my technicians. Yeah. Adnan, Bushra, and John Malik. These are technicians. Okay. And John Malik's got 16 ROs right now. So I can, so next one comes in, I can tell, I can tell that this person's workload is a little light. I can, assign them this one. All right. So once again, and you can actually control the tickets from without actually jumping into it. The buttons are right from these little cards or tickets. What do you call them? I think cards. From the card itself, you can perform operation like complete or failed, or you can open it and get into it and start looking at, more information. So let's say I requested a part over here. The part goes into parts department. Now, if I'm in parts department right now, click on request, you see this 7722? Do you remember the RO number 7722? There's a request waiting for tires. This is the part number, tires, Roswell store. I'm showing quantity on hand, quantity at hand are 12. I got 15 that are already on the back order. So I got 12 in stock and I got 15 that are, and I'll show you all these things, but, and there's 2 that are being requested. So I can go ahead and accept it. And, while accepting, I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, it's accepted. And now I can deliver it. So first thing what you do have to do with a parts manager, when he gets a request, he has to accept it and or reject it. And then after that, if he doesn't have that part in stock, he can order it. Once he orders it, then he has to receive that order. He has to pay for it. If there's something wrong, he can return it. But whatever, let's say the case may be, let's say you're my parts manager and I want to order some special battery and you don't have it in your parts department. Okay. What you will do is you'll create the purchase order on my behalf. So and in my screen, which I'm a technician, I'll be able to track all that stuff from within this table right here. Right now it's empty, but if there was parts ordered, actually it'll show me the parts department, even though I'm a technician, but I'm able to tell how far along my part is. Is it ordered? Is it received? If once it's delivered to me, all those updates will be real time. Okay. So if the parts manager says deliver parts, is going to deliver it to, and at the time of delivery, it's also asking me which, because the parts are very complicated. Okay. So let's say you have a part that's sitting on 10 different shelves. Okay. While stocking them, you had on shelf 1 and 3 and 7, and so you put some over here and put some. So when you're delivering that part, you also have to tell which shelf you're picking it up, because to maintain the proper stock levels. Okay.
Right.
So let's say I pick one from this shelf, and because my request was for 2 of them, so I click on it, and now it's basically delivered. Okay. So remember earlier it was accepted, then it went into the delivery stage, and now it's delivered. So this is your part request. In the parts, you have the whole complicated purchase ordering system. So if I was to order a new part, first thing is, let's look at parts list. So this is my parts inventory. I can create all these. You see the folders on the left? These are categories. Again, parts is an entire like a warehouse application. So you can create categories, you can create subcategories, you can do all that stuff. So within those categories and subcategories, then you create the part itself. Creating part means you create the description of a part. Okay. Once you create a description of the part, the next thing you have to do is you have to then order those parts. You still with me?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, I've got somebody messaging me about a meeting I've got coming up in 14 minutes. So
okay. All right. Well, let's do a couple more minutes and we'll get over it. But parts, I want to go on over parts another day. But I just want to tell you how complicated parts can be. Okay, from purchase ordering to stocking to receiving to returns to everything else, it's a pain in the ass. And then, by the way, all this stuff is also generating financial data. So if I want to see what kind of general ledger is behind it, you see this, I click on this link and I can view these are the actual accounting heads that are being generated in the back, parts receivables and purchase orders and all that stuff. Basically, I can view all these accounting records in the back. So service is you see, it's based on tickets and everything else. How do you like this view of service tickets? Like you drag and drop into each mechanic's buckets and.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, I like that it's a good visualization. One thing that you may want to consider there is saying, okay, if a job is a 4-hour job versus a 1-hour job, making that block size a little bit larger so folks can visually differentiate, because maybe one guy has 16 tasks, but they're all tiny ones, and one other guy has 3, but they're all like 3 or 4 hour jobs. They're really, those 2 people may have an equal workload, but how do we make that appear as though it balances?
Well, we can put more summaries. I thought about it. Right now, it's telling me is this person has 2 and this has 16. But if we put another metric over here that the estimated time of these 2 is equal to 12, and estimated time of these 16 is 16, basically. So that'll tell me she's got 2 hours or 2 of them. Yeah.
There.
I mean, like I said, that's the doing things like that is easy. I can put the summary on top of each column, basically. That way, if I was a service advisor assigning them tickets, then I can see, okay, he's got 12 or 15 hours or 16 hours or whatever the case may be, and then after that, basically, so we can put that the estimated time it's gonna take to complete these tickets on top, basically.
Yeah, I think that would be smart. Just like I said, in terms of trying to figure out load balancing.
Yeah. So estimated hours booked per employee. I'll add that on top. I mean, trust me, we have all the data. So it's at this point, presenting it in different ways is easy. So that's that. You can also and the service is a big retail service component as well, where you can actually service other people's cars, and they get nice little text messages showing the inspection report that was done on them, showing the advisories and whatever's wrong, all that stuff. So, and then when they sign off on it, like the other day I sold a job to this customer that walked in. This is the name of the customer right here, and this is what I did. I got into this thing and I created this whole condition report for this customer. And then basically brakes and rotors and tires were, not in good shape. So she got the text message, then she signed off on it, and here's a recorded signature right there.
Yeah. So the one thing, I like that you've got the little camera icon on the tires, so you can attach a picture of each. Oh, you do that? Okay. So as you scroll down, I like that you've got the ability to add pictures there, because, oftentimes you come into a repair shop and, some of the service advisor will say, oh, you need new rotors. Your rotors are scored. And
Yeah.
like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
You have that picture to back it up. It's perfect.
Yep, we have all that. Man, trust me, I've been thinking about this thing for a while.
And this, you said, is this a component that you can control from a phone or a tablet?
Yeah, absolutely. There's apps that are built for all these modules separately. Right now we have inventory app, and then we have the parts and service app, and then we have the CRM app. So we got 3 apps right now.
Okay. Cool.
And they're all well, a couple of them are already on App Store. Service and parts is not, still being tested and all that stuff. But anyway, right. So I know you gotta go. There's a lot more to it. I honestly, like I said, we can spend another couple hours just going over just some of the features. But you can see how large the system has evolved to be. I don't know if you think so or not, but I think it's gotten pretty big.
That's what she said.
Okay. Good one. I'm glad to hear that you still have some sense of humor, So,
but yeah, I mean, it's definitely far more comprehensive than even a year, 8-9 months ago when we last looked at it. I could totally appreciate how much work has gone into this.
Yeah. Remind
me, automatic lot, what was the name of the website that we figured out? You went registered the
Dealer 360i. That's what I have registered. Dealer 360i, because 360 was not there, but 360i was there. So Dealer 360i. That's a domain that I've registered right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's still. Grab that if you need to.
No. I don't need. It's okay.
Well,
And-
yeah, let's set up some more time to talk through more of it if you want to. And you tell me if you want to wait until we could dive into a little bit more of it, or if you want to go ahead and give me a login for it so I can start just kind of familiarizing myself. And then I think the other thing is let's figure out what can I do to help you at this point.
I want you to understand the system, and then at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making some basic training videos for, let's start off with the area that you are, samurai in CRM, so let's start with that, and then let's see if we can plug it into a few. I have people I can go literally walk in and give it to them, and they'll start using the CRM and all that stuff right away. But let's just talk a little bit more about it and see what kind of game plan we want to do, with all the stuff. I have I want to, we can, if everything is customizable, we can. So if we don't have to give a store access to service and parts and some of these things, they won't see these tiles over there. They won't see any of this.
I think reality is a lot of folks, while they'll use parts to keep a basic inventory of parts, they don't necessarily need things to be really comprehensive. So I actually had one of my buddies who is a dealer in South Carolina. He was out here skiing last weekend, and I told him that a friend there in Atlanta working on developing a system for dealers, and he says, look, Scott, I am more than happy to take some time and take a look at it. But just going into it, know that I'm figuring on closing down my business in the next 3 or 4 years and just collecting out my notes. So I'm not interested in making a move. I was like, Luke, no problem. But he is a super well-connected guy in the buy here, pay here world.
Mm-hmm.
So as you may want to look at going down that road in the future, he'd definitely be a good guy to get some feedback from as well.
I mean, buy here, pay here, the way I look at it, it has nothing to do with it's just another car dealership, and the way you log these transactions in, I mean, you're just, that's just like going into sales, and every time somebody comes in to make a payment, you just, receive a payment from them, and yeah, there's a couple of extra reports that tells you what are the receivables and all that stuff, but other than that, it's just another dealership, right? I mean, it's a buy here, pay here dealership. Same thing, they have cars. If anything, they probably have more service work because they sell all these, hoopties, so they probably have more service work, so they probably will use the service module and parts and everything else,
Yeah, definitely some truth to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
all right, Scott.
So, yeah, shoot me a text. Let me know a time next week if we want to connect for a little while. And
Okay.
dive into it.
I'm actually I'm rolling out a couple of more changes this whole weekend. So next week I'll set up your logins and all that stuff, and then please go ahead and start playing with it, and and let me know, because I know I still have to work on some of these, making some of these fonts bigger and all that stuff, because I mean, I've built a system like it's for IT guys, but I need to now change some of those views. I mean, that's the easy, giving a little, cosmetic changes. That's the most easiest part. That doesn't take any, brain work. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Enjoy. Thank you for the time, and we'll talk next week.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Bye.
Sorry. How you doing?
Okay, Scott,
Long time. Yeah.
Scott Drake by any chance?
No, Scott Shamrell. I don't know if you've met him or not.
No,
He's from Utah. He's an executive with Dealer Socket.
Okay.
I thought I introduced you one
You
time.
may have. I met
This
so many people.
he's a pretty good guy. We've been friends for a long time, and he he's very he's very good at what he does as far as marketing and all that stuff. So
Will that fit into what they do? What you're doing?